YouTube. Good morning, YouTube. How are you? Good, I hope. We're going to go live pretty much everywhere, just kind of like right now. Good morning. It is. It is, isn't it? I think perhaps that it is. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you fully agree. But I think it is a good Monday morning. This is going to be a little bit different kind of a Monday. But it's 7 o'clock of the hour here on 216 The Net, 216thenet.com with Uncle Pete in the morning. And good day to you. Good morning. How you guys doing today? Time to wake up.
Spent all of our time outside all day, doing whatever we like our way. Didn't need a wall to build a new space. Every moment just came together like 2 feet hanging in the water. A few trees stood a little taller. New breeze feels so good. Can't help but remind me that it was a good day. Yeah. Not much to do but just stay around. Yeah, it was a good day. I'm so glad the sun stayed around. Yeah, it was a good day. Not much to do but just stay around. Yeah, it was a good day. I'm so glad the sun stayed around. No more school, no more rules, no more room to feel these blues. You and views all afternoon. Look at all the time we don't have to give up. Everything we're giving is enough. Moments fit together like a glove.
Oh, happy Monday morning.
It was a good day.
Good day.
Not much to do but just stay around. Yeah, it was a good day.
Hey, good day.
I'm so glad the sun stayed around. Yeah, it was a good day. Not much to do but just stay around. Yeah, it was a good day. I'm so glad the sun stayed around.
Ooh, you. Are y'all awake? You ready to go? Wakey, eggs and bakey. Coffee is ready for you to partake-y. And there's nothing better than a tepid cup of coffee that is a day old. Well, there's a lot of things that are better than that, including that song. That was Surfaces. Good day. And up next, now here's Lizzo.
Check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
Good morning.
Check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
We're going to have a little different kind of Monday here. Coming up right about 7:15.
Yes, Lord. Trying to get some new shit in there. Swimwear, going to the pool shit. Come now, come dry your eyes. You know you a star, you can touch the sky. I know that it's hard, but you have to try. If you need advice, let me simplify. If he don't love you anymore, just walk your fine ass out the door. I do my hair talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Hair talk, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Feeling good as hell. Baby, how you feeling?
Are y'all as good as hell this morning?
Gotta take a deep breath, time to focus on you. All the big fights, long nights that you've been through. I got a bottle of tequila I've been saving for you. Boss up and change your life. You can have no sacrifice. I know we did you wrong, we can make it right. So go and let it all hang out tonight. Cause we don't love you anymore. person if he don't love you anymore. You walk your fine ass out the door and do your head talk. Check my nails, baby, how you feeling? Head talk, check my nails, baby, how you feeling? Head talk, check my nails, baby, how you feeling? Head talk, check my nails, baby, how you feeling? Feeling good as hell, baby, how you feeling?
Are you? I do hope you are. This is going to be a different kind of a Monday, and I'm going to tell you all about it here. Just about 8 minutes, maybe 7.
And it sounds just like a song.
6 maybe? We'll see.
I want more berries and that summer feeling. It's so wonderful and warm. Breathe me in, breathe me out. I don't know if I could ever go without. I'm just thinking out loud. I don't know if I could ever go without watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar high, watermelon sugar. Strawberries on a summer evening, baby, you're the end of June. I want your belly and that summer feeling, getting washed away in you. Breathe me in, breathe me out. I don't know if I could ever go without watermelon sugar high, 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 watermelon sugar high. I just want to taste it. I just want to taste it. Watermelon sugar high. Tastes like strawberries on a summer evening, and it sounds just like a song. I want your belly and that summer feeling. I don't know if I could ever go without watermelon sugar high, 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 watermelon sugar high. I just wanna taste it. I just wanna taste it. Watermelon sugar high. I just wanna taste it. I just wanna taste it. Watermelon sugar high. Watermelon sugar.
Watermelon sugar. I haven't had any watermelon in a long freaking time. I like the really dark green ones that were those were like really super sweet. I haven't had that in a long time. My dad used to get those. But there you go. That was from Harry Styles, Watermelon Sugar. We started the 7 o'clock hour with Surfaces, Good Lizzie, or not Lizzie, Lizzo, Good as Hell, and then Harry Styles, Watermelon Sugar. We got a couple more tunes coming up. But what I want you guys to be prepared for this morning, coming up at 7, just about 5.5 minutes from now, is we're going to actually debut a brand new show here on Uncle Pete in the Morning. We're going to play the very first episode of Mike and Fran Unrehearsed. This is a brand new show that will air noon on Wednesday, starting this Wednesday. And I just wanted to introduce you guys to this. I think you're going to have fun with it. It's a conversation between son and mom, and you can actually send in questions that we will give to them. They'll give you information on the show that's coming up. It's this fellow's 93-year-old mom who just basically tells it like it is, or answers the questions, through Fran Unrehearsed and Fran Unfiltered. I guess here. I think you guys are going to enjoy it, and we're going to have a little bit of fun with that this morning, I believe. But we'll listen to just a couple more tunes, and then we're that going. It's about a 30-minute show, but I figured we just do 7:15 to 7:45 Uncle Pete in the morning and just present this brand new show, which will air officially. This is a total surprise. Nobody knew I was going to do this, but it will air this morning. It will air officially this Wednesday at 12 noon on 21.6 The Net. So you guys get the special sneak preview of this. Nobody knew this was going to happen this morning. But meanwhile, let's. What do y'all think about a little chicken tenders on Monday morning here?
Chicken tenders in my hotel, yeah. Christina's in my bed watching TV shows when she hit the remote with her legs shaking, whispered up, making, watching wherever my head facing is for bugs, baby.
Like wings in my pillows and blankets. I got markings on my body from Trace. Rodeo for Cartier glasses. But girl, you know how itchy my back is. Every time we settle, but it never felt right, 'cause we can't keep still. And we try, fight the way everything feels when we step out of line. I met you gazing, it was love when we were making it. She spoke a different language, there was no need for translation. And I ordered chicken fingers to my room, girl. But we got some things to do first. Chicken tenders in my hotel, yeah. Christina's in my bed watching TV shows when she hit the remote with her legs shaking, whispered up, making, watching wherever my head facing is for bugs, baby. Like wings in my pillows and blankets. I got markings on my body from Trace. Rodeo for Cartier glasses. But girl, you know how itchy my back is. Every night you call me for whatever feels right, baby. Don't stay still. Make your mind. You'll be waking up in here for the rest of your life. And I knew just what she was thinking, with no need for speculation. Just your body in a blanket, and I hope this doesn't change it, 'cause it's been part of my day, yeah. And I get to see you naked. Chicken tenders in my hotel, yeah. Christina's in my bed watching TV shows when she hit the remote with her legs shaking, whispered up, making, watching wherever my head facing is for bugs, baby. Like wings in my pillows and blankets. I got marked on my body from Trace. Rodeo for Cartier glasses. But girl, you know how itchy my back is.
Well, there you go. And that was chicken tenders from Dominic Fike, I believe it is. So he likes chicken tenders in his hotel. I mean, I don't know who does. I've never had chicken tenders in a hotel. Geez, I haven't been to a hotel. Wow, probably 20 years now. So, well, no, I take that back. Yeah, no, it's been. Who cares? Who gives a crap? It doesn't matter. I forgot because I did do a business trip about 12. Let's see, 10. It was 2008, I think. So what was that? 12 years ago. So forgot about that. And that was actually, it was just a quick weekend thing. And, it was all right. I don't know that we accomplished that much, but who cares? That was then, this is now. And now, good folks of 21.6 The Net, all you amazing listeners, what we're going to do is we're going to premiere a brand new show right now. This is Mike and Fran Unrehearsed. That's going to come up. You're going to listen to it with me. And to be fair, I've not heard this yet, and poor Mike, he's been so eager for me to give him feedback on their very first episode. But you know what, Uncle Pete and Mary Catherine, who does the list and everything every day, we've been up to our eyebrows moving to a new home over the past week, and it's probably going to take us a few weeks more yet. So we are in the process of whew, well, right now, everything on my body hurts. There's nothing that doesn't. Even my pinky here, this finger right here, right there, that spot on my finger. For those of you on the radio, I'm pointing to the right corner of the fingernail of my left hand, middle finger. That hurts right there, that spot, and so does everything else. But that's where we are. So we're going to go ahead and do this. This show will air Wednesdays at 12 noon. This is the episode that will air this Wednesday. Only you guys right now are going to hear this because this is brand new. So let's find out what we think. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this. Let's see what we got. Here we go. Are you ready? And
hello, I'm Mike.
And I'm Fran.
And you're listening to Mike and Fran Unrehearsed on 216 The Net, real life internet radio. This is our first show, and we'll be airing on Wednesdays at noon. And we're really excited to be involved with 216 The Net. And I want Mom to introduce herself. So, Mom, why don't you tell folks something about you?
Good day. I'm Frances Elaine Bablatone from Eugene, Oregon. Fortunately born in the early 1920s, so I have a long scan of looking over life. I'm 93 now. Wow. My interesting parents had me, the eldest of 6 children, and I married an Italian from the East Coast, a pure Italian, and had 5 children, 7 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. I have been after my husband died early in his 50s, I became a teacher, and after I retired from teaching in the 90s, I have been busy with 2 book clubs, Facebook, which I'm not that much good at, but Michael got me on.
That's right.
And what else, Michael, do I do? Oh, I watch the kids. I read a lot. I've seen every Western there was twice.
That's right.
And I just read everything in sight. But I'll talk to you now. Michael, that I'm here with today, was my first Italian son, which was very important to an Italian husband. I got red roses when he was born and didn't get red roses when my 2 previous daughters were born.
You didn't?
And he's a kind of a master of all trades, maybe, or you call jack of all trades, does many things. Michael, tell him some of the things that you do that you involve me. Because whenever I go anywhere with him, I never know where I'm going to end up, what I'm going to do. He's like a jigsaw puzzle.
That's the
going with him is like on a merry-go-round.
That's what makes it fun.
And we're known as the Bickersons because we totally argue a lot. The kids would always say, the grandkids, why are you always arguing? I said, we're not arguing. I'm just trying to say there's another way of looking at it. So, Mike, tell me a little bit about what you have been so busy doing.
So I'm Michael. I'm Mom's first boy, middle child, Gemini. I've went to school for engineering. I graduated eventually from Southern Illinois University with an electrical engineering degree, but I wasn't interested in working 9 to 5 for the big companies. And I realized it took me a little while, about 7 years, to figure out that I needed to be more creative and be out there a little bit. And so I was really happy that when they laid me off of that job after 7 years. And I started a fashion show production company. I got involved with acting. I got an agent. I still have an agent today. So I dabble in small productions here and there. I do some voiceovers, some acting in short films. I support all my acting friends in Chicago, go to their films, and I'm working on a couple of scripts on my own. So that's the fun part. I do real estate, and I do a little bit of health insurance sales right now to make ends meet. And I've done a little Uber driving, but I haven't done that probably since March now.
And you teach ESL.
Yeah, I teach the ESL class over here at Willow Creek.
Group of most interesting people. I went with them on a couple of them.
It's kind of a funny story there because Mom is a retired school teacher, and I wanted her to come to my class and help me teach, or watch me teach, or be involved with my class. And she goes, no, that's your thing. That's your thing. And what happens? She goes on a Saturday. She meets one of my Korean students who listens to my mom and says, "Oh my God, you have the voice of a 16-year-old. Oh my God, your eyes are just twinkling like a young person I've never seen before. Oh my God, I have a Gucci scarf my mother gave me. I don't like it. You wear it." Yeah. And then Mom goes, "I think I can help you teach your class." That's exactly what happened.
But seriously, they are glorious people.
So we have a lot of fun, and Mom comes to class once in a while, and it's just great. So we're planning on taking some questions that Mom could answer, or I could answer, or we could both answer from either my Facebook page, or you can submit questions to 216thenet@gmail.com. But you need to put the show name in the title, and that would be Mike and Fran Unrehearsed.
I'm going to click pause real quick right there. Again, you are tuning in to Uncle Pete in the Morning here on 216thenet.com, real life internet radio. And what we're doing right now is premiering a brand new show that will be airing. And this is their very first episode, which will again re-air. No one knew I was this today. I just thought it would be really fun for all of you to listen to this because I've not heard this before. This is my first time through it as well. Usually we'll do a screen on the pre-recorded episodes before we put them up just to make sure, but I thought that we would have a lot of fun with this. So definitely, if you got questions, Fran, who's 93, you'd like her to answer them, shoot a note to 216thenet@gmail.com, and she can give you her 93 years of wisdom in whatever it is you'd like to ask her. And they will be airing starting this Wednesday, every Wednesday at noon. So you don't want to miss that. Now we'll go ahead. Oh, and by the way, Wendy, good morning, Wendy Munson there. I hope you're enjoying this. And all of you out there, I hope you're really enjoying this and having a lot of fun. Now I'll shut up and we'll get back to Mike and Fran Unrehearsed.
So hopefully you guys can do that. I'd love to hear some questions from Mom. And we're going to get to them. I swear to God, we're going to get to all of them. So let's get started with our first question of the day for our very first show. The question is, what was it like as a woman in college, style of clothing, and your favorite classes? Okay, Mom, so what do you think?
Well, I was in college, University of Oregon, Eugene, Oregon, during the war, World War II. On December 7th, 1941, I was in high school. And I remember 2 days after, when my classroom had 2 or 3 students in it that had come from Hickam Field, that had been flown over quick from Hawaii to the States. It was known as a girls' club. We sort of had not many men on campus unless they were 4Fers. Or then we started getting the veterans back that were wounded and mustered out and started getting the women. That was the first time that I went to school with ex-WACs and women that had been in the military and wished then, oh my gosh, why hadn't I gone? Their lives seemed to be so interesting.
So there were no men in college?
There were few. There were a few men. But
guys,
then they started coming back as the war dwindled down.
So these are guys that could not join because they had a problem.
The 4Fs were people who were not physically able.
Oh, okay.
A 4F, I don't know whether they weren't physically able.
I see.
To enter They didn't qualify.
Did you date
Let's
any
put
of
it
those
that
guys?
way. No,
Okay.
no. Didn't date any of them.
Okay.
I dated people that came back after the war. One of them that had been shot down in Japan and was up in the mountains of Japan on one of Doolittle's raids.
Really?
Who I thought was the most interesting man in the world. He had been up there for months hiding, stealing fish and things to eat. And God, I can't even remember his name. I know he was from Seattle, Washington. But anyway, the campus was rather subdued. The when we had dances was just when we went to a USO, which was a club for soldiers. And I only went to 2 of those because my parents would not let me go. I did not drive a car.
Oh,
And I was a year younger than everybody else joining college
I see.
because I started to school when I was 5, regular first grade.
Oh.
What we wore? Well, you had to have saddle shoes or white Spaldings. They were an Oxford shoe, and you had to have bobby socks or ankle sock.
Now, if you didn't have those, you couldn't hang out with the girls, right?
Well, that's what you wore.
Right.
And you wore skirts and sweaters. And if you were fortunate, you could have cashmere sweaters. That was your big deal, was to hope for a cashmere sweater, because that was the kind of sweater to wear. And a little shirt underneath with a Peter Pan collar and pearls.
Oh.
Those were what you wore. And your hair was mostly long. Much different. I know when you went to school, Mike, at Southern, you probably had a lot of jeans on everybody.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't wear jeans then. I wore skirts and didn't wear slacks or anything like that.
Were you in a sorority or anything?
No, I did not. I did not. Many of my aunts and people were. My sister was, but I just never applied.
Why was that?
I don't know. Well, probably one thing might have been the money. But another thing was I was sort of more independent, and I didn't mind. And I lived at home. I never lived on campus in any dorm or anything.
But you basically put yourself
and I
school,
paid
right?
my own way.
That's right.
Through all 4 years of college.
Wow.
So it was kind of expensive in the fact that I was an allied arts and arts architecture major, that I had to buy brownie board, paints, brushes, materials that you use.
Did you work while you went to school?
Did I work? Oh, yeah. I worked as an usherette at a theater at night.
Oh.
Had the cutest little black satin and white satin collar. Excuse me. Getting over hay fever here.
And no worries, they don't record
I
in the
had many
studio.
jobs
There's no
to
risk of COVID
put
or
myself
anything.
through college. One of those, I was an usherette at night. I would rush down from the campus, walk all the way down to McDonald's Theater, and get the cutest outfit in the world. Black satin, like a tuxedo jumper with white satin collar and cuffs, and a little hat, and carried a flashlight.
Wow.
And stood out there and knew all the signals about loges upstairs, downstairs. I also worked for Dr. Baldinger, one of the art professors, in grading papers and running cameras and things in the classrooms. I also worked on the farm in the summers because we had a 400-acre farm. And I got paid by the hour for that.
How much did you make per hour?
Oh, my God. When we weeded and hoed at one time, we only made 15 cents an hour.
15 cents an hour.
But then later on, when we were stringing beans, we would get $1 for a full roll of stringing beans up to the
Holy
wires.
cow, $1?
Yeah, $1, but you could do 4 or 5 a day.
What could you buy for $1 then?
Oh, quite a bit.
What?
Quite a bit. I remember when I bought a dress, it was like $3.88 or $3.98 or something like that.
Wow.
I remember the dress because this was in junior high. I was such a clod at cooking that Mrs. Archibald, the teacher, wanted to shame me. I made white sauce, and I don't know, I didn't even read it right. She made me wrap it up in newspaper and walk all the way around the junior high all around the school to be embarrassed holding this, past all the boys playing soccer and stuff. And I always remember Mrs. Archibald. When we did sewing, I sewed my skirt to the machine, what I was making. And on the last day, I got a special dress. My mother did. She lived up on a hill. And that cute little dress, I was going to show Mrs. Archibald I was a quality worthy person after doing all those stupid things in her classes. Stepped in her front door, stepped on a scatter rug and went upside down across her living room and ended up with my skirt over my head.
My God.
Now, I always will remember Mrs. Archibald. And I remember when she passed away many years later, and I lived in Chicago and had a full family. My mother sent me her obit. And in a way, I had to sort of smile. Okay, Mrs. Archibald, you know. But no, I did a lot of different jobs. I worked in the helping my father put lumber into the lumber yard during the war.
Wow.
And every man would say, oh, you can't let that girl do that. She'll never be able to have kids. That's too tough a work.
That's what they said.
And my dad says, oh, no, she's a toughie, because we didn't have men to work then. And I was a bean boss. We had the poet laureate of Australia as one of the people picking because we didn't have all the men around then.
Because they were in the war.
Yeah. And
so
so I put my own way through. But the clothing was just cute skirts and sweaters and tops, and I can't remember much other. We certainly wore, when we went to the gym or went to swimming, we wore the little suits that the school issued. I went to University High School, which was on the University of Oregon campus.
Oh.
So we got to use the university's facilities when it came to gym.
Oh, wow.
So when we did tennis or fencing or swimming, we used the ones that belonged to the university.
I see.
University High School is and has been gone for many, many years, but it was affiliated with the college.
So you had uniforms then that you wore?
No, only when we went into swimming classes or in the gym and things.
Okay.
But we did not have them regularly.
So what were your favorite classes in college?
Okay, before we let Fran answer that, I'm going to give a quick pause. Again, for all of you who are tuning in a little bit later this morning or catching the live stream here on Facebook or on YouTube, you are watching and you are listening to Uncle Pete in the Morning. This is a slightly different Monday. This is what you're hearing, and what you're sharing with me here is the very first ever inaugural episode of Mike and Fran Unrehearsed. And Fran is Mike's mom. She's 93 years old, and she's talking about her life. And they'll be doing is they'll be taking questions. And you just had the question there from Mike just before we paused here, just to remind you, you are listening to 216 The Net, 216thenet.com. We listen to these episodes when they're brand new before we put them on the air, just to see if there's anything we need to do. I've been moving. I haven't had a chance. So I thought, okay, the last half of Uncle Pete in the Morning, it's a 30-minute episode. They'll be on Wednesdays, 12 to 12:30. You don't want to miss it. The lunch hour there. And I figured you guys could listen to this with me. So this is a super sneak peek for all of you. No one else is getting to hear this. Just everybody tuned in, because no one knew I was going to do this morning. But we'll keep it going here. We'll let Fran answer that question.
Well, I was a good student. I belonged to the National Honor Society. Mm-hmm. I suppose I liked math was the one I liked the least because I was not good at math. Mm-hmm. Math, that's when I became a teacher many years later. That was one of my biggest desires, to see that the kids in my kids love math. And they didn't despise it like I did from a young grade up.
Right.
You know, I would tell them math is not in a cotton picking book. Math is in going to the store and buying something.
Cotton picking?
Well, whatever it is, it isn't in that book. Math is what your age. Math is how far you can walk. Math is a living thing. And I was very happy once in a while when I would find a student that would say, Mrs. Latone, my favorite subject is math. Oh. And I go, oh my God, I succeeded, because I was such a horrible. In first grade, I was so shy. They had no kindergarten then. And I started first grade a year younger. And I was so timid and wouldn't listen that the teacher, gosh, I used to remember her name, but I've forgotten it now. My mother would take me 1 week and beat my little hands and tell me, you got to learn.
Oh my God.
And I would cry, and my father would take me the next week.
She knew that you weren't good at math?
Mrs. Dan, that was her name.
Uh-huh.
I just hated math from then on.
But your mom knew that.
Well, my mother and father tried to help me,
Uh-huh.
but I was just a basket case with the math. And then when I had to teach math and became a teacher,
Yeah.
I went over to Harper College and took some extra classes in math
Mhm.
that I had never really taken before.
I see.
And then oh boy, I missed the boat on that.
Well, that's good.
But you were so good in math.
I
You
was
became an engineer. Vincent was terrific in math.
I was okay.
And I was so proud of some kids because math had been difficult for me.
Well, Alyssa, my niece, is a really, 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 really good student in math.
Yeah.
In fact, when she was in school, the football players used to want to sit next to her to copy her, on the tests and on the quizzes and on the math problems because she was so good at math. And that's why, as a little actress that she was when I took her around when she was young, she wound up studying editing and acting, but she kind of wanted to be on the other side of the camera. So she took editing and then she minored in math because she was good at it. And in the editing world, I think it's a really good thing to be like sort of, good with math for graphics and all this kind of thing.
And she's a
Graphic arts
videographer in Boise,
and
Idaho.
now she's working in Boise, Idaho as a videographer. And it's
Yeah.
fantastic. So we planted a little seed for little Alyssa because she lived with us then when she was 3 years old. And I started taking her out on auditions, and she is just the most natural young little girl reading scripts and memorizing 3 pages in a half hour. And she was just superb. And it was natural for her. She was just being a kid and she loved it. But when she got older, she realized it was more of a business, and she kind of realized that maybe that wasn't really her passion. And she likes to be on the other
only
side
22 now.
of the camera right
Yeah.
now. But yeah, she's 22. She's living in Boise. She's been there, a year and a half now?
No,
Couple
just
years?
it won't be a year until
okay.
October.
But she loves it out there. She's working for a great company. And anyway, that's fantastic.
Well, she was so good that when she got through with the test, the teacher had her go around, and when she got through, everybody should have been through, but she got through so soon, they wouldn't believe that she finished that fast.
So that reminds me of a story that you told me about you reading very fast. So,
yeah.
So tell me about that. So when you were on, everybody else was just starting on the test. Isn't that right?
No, the blue books.
Okay.
When I had to do the blue books where you did your grades in college.
Yeah.
I would be I finished 1, 2, 3.
No. Back up and tell me, what is a blue book? What is that? What is it?
It's a book you test in.
Okay, so you have to read, you have to comprehend, and then you have to take a test, or what is it?
It's a testing booklet.
What is it?
Didn't you have one in college?
It was different.
Well, they were called blue books. They were little pamphlets that came out, and you had to write your answers in it. How big was the pamphlet?
How big was it?
Oh, I don't know. Many, maybe 40 pages.
40 pages.
I cannot remember.
And you had to read a story.
I don't know. It was what it was. It was either in art, on any subject. Blue books were how you got tested. Okay. That's what we called it.
So you read the book, and then what? What was the book about?
Well, it was your whole class. You were being tested on all the skills you took.
What did you read in the book? What was it?
Well, it might have been art history.
Okay.
It was whatever. It might have been in psych.
So you read 40 pages, and then you answered how many questions?
No, you didn't read any pages. You answered. You wrote your answers in the book.
Oh.
It was an answer book.
But you had to read something.
The blue book. Well, you had to. There's a question somewhere, and I don't know whether the question was in the blue book or what. It was a testing device.
So how did you do with that?
Well, when I got it, I would do 1 book, 2 book, be on my 3rd book, and when the teacher said, "Oh, it's when Latone is through, everybody's got to be through," they called it because the whole class was still struggling. I would go through 1 book, 2 books, 3 books, and I would get A pluses on
And
those.
this is when you were in grade school?
I was college.
College.
You didn't do that
So
in grade
you were
school.
a Bab then. You weren't a Latone.
I was a Bab. I was excellent at testing, reading. I had a photographic memory.
Wow.
I could look at a page and remember how many pictures did Monet do of this subject or something, and I could just see that page.
So
and I wrote down everything. So when I got through with my books, the teacher called everybody through,
Wow.
because everybody else had to be through by then. I had gone through about 2 or 3 books, and they were still on their first.
Oh my God.
But and Roxy, my girlfriend, said, "Oh God, Fran, I never will forget what it was to sit beside you."
I agree, Wendy.
Because she was an Allied Arts and Architecture major with me. And how you tested and did that. She said, I was in envy of how you could test on everything.
Wow.
Except one thing, psychology. I think a Dr. Leeper was his name. I got my first D I ever got in my whole life.
Wow.
Somehow I would overanalyze it. If they'd ask you, could it? Well, under this conditions, it could.
Yeah.
Under this conditions,
Right.
it could.
Right.
And other
Right.
than that, I was A minus was my, A minus grade point is what I got generally up there.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
All right. So, Fran, here's another question. What was the most important invention of your lifetime?
Well, I'm not going to say penicillin or like airplanes or automobiles. They were before my lifetime, not penicillin, but the others were. I think it's something that was meaningful in my life is when my mother got a washing machine.
Really?
Wow.
That had those big wash tubs, galvanized wash tubs that she would scrub on a scrub board in it.
Yeah.
And then one to rinse. And when we got the first machine that was not electric, because we did not have electricity, that had a motor, and the motor would start and be heard for miles around. They would know when Mrs. Babb was washing with that but. And
Really?
my mother, and she had 4 kids.
So it was a loud machine?
Yeah.
And didn't
washing machine.
other people have the same machine? No?
No, they had electricity.
Oh.
We were the one people that didn't
So
have.
your machine does
We
not
had a
have
motor.
How does your machine work if it doesn't have electricity?
I don't know. It had
Was it a gas engine?
a motor. I don't know. You're the engineer. All I know is
Yeah, right.
we didn't have electricity.
So you didn't have electricity, but you had some kind of a washing machine that went put, and it got the job done.
Mhm.
What the heck is that? Is it like a gas engine? Like a motor?
I don't remember how it turned
Oh
on.
my
I
God.
don't remember.
What was it?
I know
Butane or
it stood up on
propane
little.
or-
It might have been. I don't remember.
Oh my God.
I just know we did not have electricity, and
Well, but you finally did get electricity.
it had a motor. Not in that house.
Not in
We
that house.
moved to another home on December 7th, 1941, the day of Pearl Harbor, is when we were moving out of that garage.
Oh my God.
And we only lived in the garage because my father was building a huge house, and he had the frame and the big garage. And that was the depression of the 27, 28, 29.
Yeah.
And everything went down, and he lost all the money. So we moved into the big garage.
Well, your father was a lot kind of like I am, I think. He had a lot of ideas. He was an entrepreneurial kind of a spirit, and he was always involved in different kind of projects that were going to pan out. And they looked really good, and they looked really promising, but a lot of times they didn't pan out as well.
Well,
as they
he
could have.
was like, as I said at his funeral, he was like Don Quixote, and my mother was a Cervantes to him. She was the practical person.
Yeah.
Didn't have the vast education that after World War I, he went to the University of Nancy outside of Paris, was a lawyer, he had this tremendous brain,
Yeah.
but things didn't click together practical.
Right.
He
Right.
was like Don Quixote, like chasing things. Yet my mother was a practical one.
Yeah,
But he knew about the black hole science. He read everything. And when we grew up in our family, we did not have comic books. We had O. Henry, Shakespeare, and by the side of my little cot that pulled out to be a bed at nighttime in
Yeah.
this one room thing
yeah.
was a 5-foot long cabinet with beautiful blue Encyclopedia Britannicas
Wow.
embraced with gold.
So that's what you're supposed to read as a
They
kid?
were in
Encyclopedia Britannica?
and they were
That's what you read as a kid?
issued in
Read an
1927.
encyclopedia. Hey, kids, what are you doing?
No, they were there. He had them for,
Don't go crazy
analysis.
outside and make trouble.
and we had to be careful
Read the
because they had
Encyclopedia
real
Britannica.
thin pages.
Oh, my God.
But we didn't have comic books or things. We were brought up on that kind of
Oh, my God.
literature
Crazy.
because my dad was that kind of reader.
Wow. Well, I remember him at my graduation
I
from
think
college.
that's freaking
Oh,
He cornered a
fantastic.
couple of my friends talking
They-
about
they
black
couldn't-
holes.
I
And they were
know.
like, holy crap, who's this guy? I go,
They
that's
didn't
my
even-
grandpa.
He knew
And
about it.
he knew about everything in the world. He could talk your head off about any subject in the world without even blinking an eye.
He was very
That was my
vociferous,
grandfather. Yeah.
and he knew
Yeah.
what he was talking
He
about.
knew what he was talking about because he read everything.
Yeah,
And here is a guy talking about black holes to college kids, and they're like, huh?
very interesting
Oh,
brain.
my God. No, fantastic guy. Well, hey, look at the time. That's about it for today. But please submit some questions to 216thenet@gmail.com with our show name in the subject line. Mike and Fran Unrehearsed. So, Mom, that's about it for today. What do you think?
Oh, the time just whisked away so fast. And we didn't get into any deep arguments about this today.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
So that's a good thing because we usually don't always see things from the same kind of eyes.
Maybe we can do that next
yeah,
time.
yeah, we have to learn to be more congenial.
All right.
So long, folks. See you later.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. You're listening to Mike and Fran Unrehearsed on 216 The Net, real life internet radio. Wednesdays at noon at 216 The Net. That's 216thenet.com. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Can you play the whole thing?
Sure.
All right, let's listen to it.
We got a minute left. What's on your mind, Mom? Come on, Fran. Give me something. What happened today?
Okay.
What did you read in the paper? Anything good? All right.
Oh, I could just say, oh,
What?
what's a postscript? PS, postscript?
Yeah.
Postscript. Being an ex-teacher for many years, this teacher thing has really intrigued me.
Uh-huh.
I wish I was back and young enough to be in the teaching field, to be a part of figuring out what would be a good solution.
Well, maybe let's talk about that next time.
But I
Okay.
mean, it's kind of a little,
Say goodbye.
you know.
Say goodbye for now.
Yeah, but you said I had to say a minute more.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh my gosh. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Again, Uncle Pete in the morning is always a music thing. I know, and we're actually gonna complete the 7 o'clock hour here with a few more tunes. We'll definitely do that. And in fact, right now. But whilst Katie is playing in the background, I'd love to know, any of you who caught that this morning, I'd love to know what you think. Are you looking forward to hearing more episodes? Again, this will re-air this Wednesday, 12 noon. Mike and Fran Unrehearsed will be every Wednesday, 12 noon here on 216 The Net. That is their very first inaugural episode. I had not had a chance to preview it because I've been so busy in the personal life. I've been moving all over the place. Oh, Wendy, awesome show, she says. All right, that's very cool. And so hopefully you guys really did enjoy that. Definitely tune in Wednesdays, 12 noon. For Mike and Fran Unrehearsed. We just got to listen to that. You got a sneak preview right here on Uncle Pete in the Morning of Mike and Fran Unrehearsed. Brand new show here. We've had so many new shows. Oh my gosh. Lisa's Changing Perceptions set an all-time record for number of people reached via Facebook on a live 1 hour stream. This Sunday was only her third episode. So you can catch Lisa Changing Perceptions every Sunday at 9 for a very first episode ever, inaugural episode, a live stream. You had Metaphysical Meanderings this past Saturday at 9:30. It'd be 9:30 every Saturday with Lana Hartgrave, who is a comedian medium. And they set a record for the most people reached on a inaugural live stream show here on Facebook. They did remarkably well for their very first episode. We, of course, have The Teachable Soul with Kat Daniels every Saturday at 4 p.m. We've also got Your Home with Bremer and Jones every Tuesday at 6 p.m. I know there are more shows coming up. I think there's something called the Dad Cast or the Dad Pod. I don't remember the exact name of what it's going to be. That's in development. We got all kinds of things. If you've got a show, a podcast, or a show idea, let me know. Pete at 216thenet.com. Kent and I will check it out. We're the owners here at 216thenet. Meanwhile, let's enjoy a little Katie, shall we? That was a very little Katie, I suppose. Again, we're rounding out the 7 o'clock hour here this wonderful Monday on Uncle Pete in the Morning. Hope you enjoyed that super sneak preview of Mike and Fran Unrehearsed. She's 93 years old, just answering your questions. If you've got questions for the 93-year-old Fran and want her 93 years of wisdom, shoot a note to 216thenet.com. No. Shoot a note to 216thenet@gmail.com. Or you can go to 216thenet.com and complete the contact form. Just note that your question is for the Mike and Fran Unrehearsed show. We'll get that to them. And I think you'll have I laughed several times throughout that show, and it kept me interested the whole time. I think you guys are going to really enjoy that. I really do. Meanwhile, it is an amazing Monday. It's a different kind of Monday here on Uncle Pete in the Morning. Hope you had a good time with me listening to that. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad we did that. And you guys can go back and catch it again here on Facebook Live. You can catch it on the YouTube live stream. And of course, when when Uncle Pete in the Morning just happens to play outside of the regular time, which is 6 to 8 Monday through Thursday and 6 to 7 on Fridays with Mary Catherine's Power Hour playlist. And just have a good time. But again, if you want your own show or you currently have a podcast, we do have 525,600 minutes to fill all year long. Never stops. So shoot a note. We have a member host program, and we can share all that info with you if you're interested. You got an idea for a show, or again, your own podcast that you think is ready for real life internet radio. Love to hear from you. My direct email is pete@216thenet.com. It's also where you can send your requests of stuff you want to hear, and we get it on the radio for you here on Uncle Pete in the Morning. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful Monday, and we're just going to let everybody this morning. Here you go.
They'll set you up to sink before they teach you how to swim. They put green up on the stick, you're just a puppet on the string. Make you think you're in control, you're just a machine. The machine. Life hard work, 'cause we all start to the machine.
The Machine. That was apparently The Machine from Oliver Malcolm. And this is Wiz the MC for a minute.
You want my love, I want your heart. Just for a minute, come by, let me feel it. Cause you want my love, I want your heart. Just for a minute, come by, let me finish. You want my love, I want your heart. Just for a minute, come by, let me feel it. Cause you want my love, I want your heart. Just for a minute, come by, let me finish. Summertime's dry, I need something to get around. You don't need to fall in love, baby, I just be a drug. All your friends already gone, you just looking for someone. Ain't nobody looking back, baby. I could be your one just for a night, maybe a week, but I don't want to stay too long. Cause then you see all my weaknesses. I keep distance to everyone I see. Isn't me or you, but something making me feel brand new. Oh, feeling brand new. Oh, feeling brand new. Oh, feeling brand new. Oh, but it still feel like you want my love, I want your heart. Just for a minute, come by, let me feel it. Cause you want my love, I want your heart. Just for a minute, come by, let me finish. You want my love, I want your heart. Just for a minute, come by, let me feel it. Cause you want my love, I want your heart. Just for a minute, come by, let me finish.
Joel Corey, Head and Heart.
Oh my God, these feelings just begun. I'm saying things I've never said, doing things I've never done. Oh my God, when I see you, I should it right. But I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop. Feeling things I feel about us. Try to fight it, but it's never enough. My heart is hurting, it's more than a crush. Cause I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop. But my heart goes cause my heart goes oh my God, can't believe what I've become. I'm thinking things I shouldn't think, singing songs I've never sung. Oh my God, when I see you I should run. But I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop. Feeling things I feel about us. Try to fight it, but it's never enough. My heart is hurting, it's more than a crush. Cause I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop. But my heart goes cause my heart goes cause my heart goes my head and my heart, my head and my heart, I can tell them apart. Tell me to run, but I can't. Cause my heart goes cause my heart goes oh my God, this feeling's just begun. Saying things I've never said, doing things I've never done. Oh my God, when I see you I should run. But I'm frozen in motion, and my head tells me to stop. But my heart goes.
And there you go.
Back with the remix. These boys are my sons.
We are actually off the air now on 21.6 the net. I have got to.
When it's just done, I'ma
What the
fill
heck
up
is
arenas.
going on here?
Like Gilbert
Skip this.
Arenas.
I
Shoot
don't
my
need-
shot, I'm still with the demons. Ooh,
Knock it off.
I keep it thorough. I got 5 chicks in New York, that means one in each
Computer's
borough.
doing
I'm
stuff
in the
I don't want
pocket like
them to do.
Burrow. When I'm back home, no, they treat me like Robert De Niro. Took her to talk about my
And you guys can go ahead and if you want, I gotta click buttons. I gotta send some notes here. If you want to listen to a few more notes, I'll just leave this on whilst I'm wrapping up. We are clear from 21.6 the net. This is only on the Facebook Live and YouTube live stream right now. So have fun, I guess. This is exclusive for you guys. There you go.
I got options. I can pass that bitch like Stockton. Just joshing.
I don't know that I like what's playing,
My
but
body
whatever.
got rid of them toxins. Sports in the top 10.
Calling my bitch, tell her bring me that noggin. Brain real good, shit scholar. I like a thing with low mileage, good brain with no college. Call me the baby, no Tyler. I'm real creative and stylish. F in my denim. I send that hit, make them spin 'em. And I just flew back from LA on the jet. Yesterday I go back and forth like I play tennis. I fuck with your hoe, yeah, I feel for it. Still on the Billboard, the #1 song in UK. And now they got so fucking rich, all these songs on my dick. I said, don't give a fuck what you say. She eat it like a Pac-Man, nigga. Whoop a nigga like I'm Batman, nigga. I just put up in the back.
Okay.
The reason I ain't fucking with these rap ass niggas is they trap ass niggas. You wanna keep it life, take it easy. I rock the water diamonds, need a squeeze. These niggas water down, they drink it.
No. There we go. All right. Now that's the one thing Uncle Pete doesn't really play. Yeah. You know, that's the one thing. Yeah, you know, that kind of stuff. And it didn't even say there's no E in there. So I guess that's not explicit. I don't know. But whatever. Yeah. Well, you found the one thing Uncle Pete don't play. That not songs with that in it. Just don't. Well, you know, whatevs. I do like for music to be unedited. I really do. But over the air and over live streams are just some things that, you know, we don't pull off here on 21.6 and that. That's one of them. Very few other things. We don't do politics. We never do news, and we don't do weather. No politics. There's enough of that every day. You want politics? Just go on any other page on Facebook or look at your stream or go wherever. You can't do 2 clicks without finding something about politics right now. And as far as news is wherever you're going to find your news. We just don't do news here on 21.6 and that, and we don't do weather. And the reason people say, well, why don't you do weather? And I can give you the one reason, because I can guarantee, absolutely positively guarantee the weather for you without question. I absolutely positively can. Every single moment of every single day, every single microsecond, I can guarantee you the weather is outside. You want to know what the weather is? Look out your damn window. There it is. Go outside. Go out. There's your weather. There's your weather. I guarantee it is outside moment of every single day. We'll pop one more thing here for you guys and see if we can just digest one more little song. Oh, okay. There you go.
At least I showed up, you showed me the thing. It's coming down on me. Water like misery. It's coming down on me. I'm ready, rain on me. At least I'm alive. Rain on me, rain on me, rain. I'm ready, at least I'm alive. Rain on me, rain on me. Living in a world where no one's innocent. Oh, but at least we try. Gotta live my truth, not keep it bottled in. So I don't lose my mind. Yeah, I can feel it on my skin. It's coming down on me. Teardrops on my face. Water like misery. Better watch out, blame my sins. It's coming down on me. Let your love. Rain on me.